Now to the latest in Oklahoma City, as the U of A women's softball team is hoping to keep their World Series dreams alive after a tough loss to Alabama yesterday. Today, we introduce you to one of the team's players. News 4 Tucson's sports director, Paul Secala, joining us live from Oklahoma City with more on Tucson native Carlie Scupin and her family. Good evening, Paul.
Hey, good evening to you, my man. As we speak here at the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City, James Madison is duking it out in the stadium behind me with, of course, Oklahoma State. And later, the Pac-12's very own UCLA will take on Alabama. Alabama is the team that knocked the Arizona Wildcats into the losing bracket. And, of course, speaking of that losers bracket, well, the Wildcats will take on Florida State tomorrow. But there are plenty of fans, as you mentioned, that made the trip from Tucson, Arizona, here to Oklahoma City. They are living it up, and some of those fans are actually related to players on the team. Arizona freshman standout Carlie Scupin's grandparents, Chuck and Judy Davis, have nothing but pride for the Arizona Wildcats.
We used to take her to games when she was a little girl, probably since she was 5 or 6 years old. And we always went out when she was 10 or 11 with her softball, and we'd wait for the players when they came out, and they would sign her softball, and I'd take a picture of them. And for me, she's come full circle.
Full circle, from a fan growing up in the old Pueblo to playing for Coach Bert Otero at Tucson High, to now a U of A Wildcat at the Women's College World Series. Describe the tremendous pride you have being the grandparents of Carlie.
She's such a good teammate, and there's a great deal of pride in seeing her relate to the other girls on the team. And when she was 9 years old, we were at a U of A game, and she looked at me and said, "Grandpa, I'm going to be on that field someday." So now she is.
Mission accomplished. She, of course, is playing at one of the best college softball programs of all time for the winningest coach of all time, Mike Candrea. Now, coming up on News 4 Tucson at 6 and 10, we will catch up with the University of Arizona players as they talk about what they have to do to avoid being eliminated from this tournament. Also, at 6 o'clock in our news segment, we'll catch up with a wheelchair warrior, if you will, a person that makes it to as many of the games as they can, and they won't let hundreds of miles away get in their way from making it to the game. So make sure you check that out. Also, we have a lot from here at the World Series on KVOA.com. We got you covered from Oklahoma City here live at the Women's College World Series. I'm Paul Secala, News 4, Tucson.